running ragged, so I'm going to be a little off today. I can tell already. Sorry about that, but that's okay. I'm here. We're ready to go. 2-1, welcome to the North Wright County Today podcast. We are back. We're still here. It's still going. I'm not quite sure how this is happening. But here we are. I am Mike Schomer, founder, editor, Ink Stained Rich, NorthWrightCountyToday.com or NorthWrightCounty.today, or you can find this podcast anywhere you find podcasts, or watch us if you are so entertained by our beautiful physique and faces on YouTube every week. And I am joined, as always, by my co-host Nick Schultz over there down on the end from Deerwood Bank in St. Michael. And joining us right off the top today is Dr. Leah Colby from iWest with locations in Rogers and St. Michael.
Welcome.
Also, building owner, business owner, super mom, school supporter.
All of the above.
And on top of it all, Optometrist of the Year.
Whoa, yes.
So exciting to get that recognition.
That's why you got into it, right? It was for awards.
Yeah,
The
I even got
awards.
a crown. I was actually going
Yeah.
for the Queen of Optometry.
Yeah. You're missing your sash.
Right.
It would have been amazing if they came in with a tiara and a scepter. That would have.
I probably should have brought that. I don't know.
You guys could have gotten, millions of views on the YouTube video. Like, who does this person think she is? Oh my gosh. Anyway, tell us a little bit about that day. You're just working. Did you have any clue, any idea that this was going to happen?
No, so Wendy, my office manager, she sent an email out on Friday and said, hey, we're going to do some social marketing and media stuff on Monday. Dress up, look your best, 11 to 12, we're blocking patients. So I'm sitting in the back, everybody's looking their best at the front, and she comes in and she tosses down her A brush, and she goes, you need to brush your hair. Okay. Good.
That's quality feedback from your coworker.
Right?
Yeah.
And friendship, right?
Yeah.
Good, taking care of each other. Then she goes, do you have lipstick with you? Yeah, I do, that's great.
For those of you that have gone to iWest and know Wendy, Wendy is very no-nonsense. So she's saying this exactly the way Leah's saying.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's very no-nonsense.
So I go up to the front, I look out into the parking lot, and I see my husband and my sons walking up to the office. And the first thought I had, which I'm not sure why, is this an intervention? Like, why are they coming to the office on a Monday? My son in high school happened to have the day off. My oldest son just graduated from a community college, and my husband's off on Mondays. So they walk in, and then thankfully over their shoulder, I saw the executive director of the Minnesota Optometric Association and the president, Dr. Stacy Hinkemeyer, bringing balloons. Okay. I was like, okay, I think I'm okay.
Yeah, generally balloons are not an intervention.
Balloons are typically not an intervention.
Okay.
So then they introduced again why they were there and explained the honor, and I cried, and it's pretty amazing. Mm-hmm.
That's
So
great.
awesome.
It was awesome.
Just
And
totally
then I
surprised.
just got my award from the association on Saturday, but I have to tell you this quick story. You can edit it out. But so Saturday morning, getting ready. It's 8 hours of education. There's a big presentation over the lunch hour, and I got my hair done, and I've got a 7-month-old corgi at home.
Aww.
Yeah, super sweet, super adorable. Chasing her into her kennel, and I just got a haircut, and my hair blocked my view, and I bent over to pick her up and gave myself a black eye.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So there's that. So presenting and again accepting the award with a black eye.
Oh boy.
So, small
Well, that's what makeup's for.
exactly.
Optometry is a competitive business. You never
Right?
know.
Yeah. It was a knockdown to get to the stage.
You should see the other optometrist.
That's right.
There you go. So yes, it's a great honor. It was a great honor.
Fantastic. So, tell us how long you started with the Rogers location, correct?
Yep.
And then expanded in St. Michael. How long have you been in the community and just kind of tell us the background of coming to Rogers and then expanding?
You bet. So I actually started my career about 28 years ago. Did a residency, worked with Dr. David Whiting at Alina, ran a LASIK center for about 2 years, and then my husband said, you know what, we should do this private practice thing. And that was 22 years ago. So it was myself and 2 staff in Rogers. He had done all the research to say, hey, what's expanding, what's growing, the community at large, and if you drive by it 20 years later, you wouldn't even recognize it, right? It was all
Right.
farms. So it was myself and 2 staff, and flash forward 22 years later, we have 5 doctors, 30 staff, 2 locations, and literally, it's the people of the community that support us that have made us who we are. We have great patient relationships. We believe in giving back to the community. And I always tell my staff, I don't pay your paychecks, our patients do. So how do we treat people when they walk in the door? That's our business philosophy. Yeah.
Well, and you touched on something there where the community, you feel that the community is supporting you, but I also see the iWest name on pretty much every high school sports activity, every one-act play. I think you've done a great job of kind of ingratiating iWest into the STMA community and expanding it from Rogers.
100%. We love the bike rodeo, what they're doing at the St. Michael City. Sandy does an amazing job, as you know, with all of the support she does for the community. But again, the churches, the theater, the dance teams, the sports teams. It's, again, what comes around goes around. And I'm not doing that to say, hey, come and support me. I'm doing that because you have supported me.
Right.
Thank you for doing that. And how can we better support the people in our community?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's about. And you're, with the 2 locations, you're able to do it in 2 different communities. You live in Rogers.
I do. Well, right on the edge between the 2. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, you just kind of have found your niche and a place to call home. What drew you to Rogers St. Michael? What kind of brought you out to this area?
I think, to be honest, my husband's from Montana. Not a big city guy, so we found a couple acres to put a house on the lake, and how lucky are we to be in the rural suburbs, quiet neighborhood, and again, the people. There's a lot of opportunity for our kids. I go to church here, I worship here, shop here. They both have a lot to offer. Yep.
Now you're a building owner in St. Michael. That's been a little bit of a journey, but
It has.
that cornerstone building and just the significance of it. I mean, it's kind of, I always call it phase 2 or phase 3 of the city. It just kind of is indicative. It's an indication of our natural progression to become more of a suburb versus small town on the edge of town. But talk about that journey for you, and on top of being a small business owner, being a property owner, these are all things. It takes courage to do those things. It takes a little bit of daring to go out on a limb and say, okay, I'm going to step up in this way for my community.
The opportunity to learn and to grow. This is a big project that we took on in buying that building. The tenants that are now in there, amazing people, local business owners. It's been such a joy to to work with them, support them. We're just adding the accountant house is going to be joining us here in the next few months.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Yep, so we have Beauty Evolution, we have Touch for Life Massage, we have Edward Jones, the Thronset law firm downstairs. And it really was a natural progression for us. We had a small clinic with 2 lanes, and then Snap Fitness was losing their lease or was going to be up on their lease, and we said, hey, this is a perfect location, let's go ahead and do this and expand in this fabulous location.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, iWest is located in the Cornerstone, right in the heart of St. Michael, just across the street from Main Street Farmer there. And that building was just kind of essential to the, when we did the one-way pair and things like that, and a lot of us were here for it. When did you open that clinic? That was 2009-ish?
Yeah, and it was an eye clinic. They didn't have a doctor there. It was really just an optical. So it was a natural, again, growth into the western suburbs. When she went out of business, we said, hey, I want to take over the space. So it's a great process for us to move further into the western suburbs.
Yeah, I would say I'm very happy for your expansion. I'm a little sad that I have to go to Albertville to work out now, though.
That 1 mile. So sad. Sorry about that.
Oh, Saturday afternoons were the best on the treadmill at Snap because you got to see the parade from the corner bar to Ditto's and
Yeah.
then back to the corner bar on Saturday afternoons.
But the corner bar's not there.
Yeah.
The view's not the same.
Yeah.
There I was running on the treadmill trying to take care of myself, and those people were having a lot more fun than I was.
Yep.
Yeah, the Legion to the Dittos, it's
Yeah.
just not the same traffic.
It's a little longer walk. It's a longer walk.
You see a rascal every once in a while.
Yeah.
Good play. I'm kidding. Well, super cool. I mean, so eye care,
Yes.
always changing, always evolving. What's the latest? Okay, so I'll take myself for example. I'm a contacts guy. You've known me for 15 years now. I've been wearing contacts since day one. For a guy who is 51, deathly afraid of lasers or cutting my eye, or anything. Like it's enough to get me to put a finger in my eye.
With the contact on.
Right. So tell me about LASIK and all the advances and all the things. I know you don't do that right at your clinic, but you
Right.
have the background in it and you refer a lot of people to do it.
Sure.
Like where has that come from and where is it going?
Great. So, conversation about LASIK, it's been around since 1987. So, we're coming up on 40 years of this surgery.
That was when they would just take a chisel, kids, and
Exactly.
they would just take the lens out
Yes.
with a hammer and a chisel and then staple it up.
Yeah.
No.
No staples, no hammer, no chisel. It has come a long way. I just had a one-day post-op this morning, in fact, from LASIK surgery. We work with OVO, LASIK, and Lens, and they do a fantastic job. Just make sure you research, I think, your surgeons. But LASIK in and of itself, I'm going to say, hasn't really changed a lot in the last 5 to 10 years because it's so safe, and the technology has been, I don't know how you make it any better. It is customized for each person, their pupil size, their prescription. They look at something called higher order aberrations that I can't even measure in a regular eye exam. So people are coming out with better than 20/20 vision. So this morning my patient was 20/15, better than 20/20. I jokingly say you're going to have x-ray vision next. So it's such a foolproof, not foolproof, you have to have, of course, specialists and the doctors and the team of people, but it's 10 minutes for both eyes. I saw 20 patients the day after I had my surgery, and that was 26 years ago. And I still have perfect 20/20 vision, and I couldn't see the hand in front of my face.
Right.
And that was
So-
my experience as well. I had
Yeah.
it done in 2002.
Yeah.
And the weird part for me was they give you a little something to help you sleep post-surgery for
Yeah.
about 3 hours. And then when you wake up from that nap, you can see.
Yeah.
And then I think they fixed me to about 2015 as well. Now, this is, 23 years later, I still have perfect vision.
At the distance,
At
right?
distance, yeah. So I
Can we
cannot
talk
fill out a
about
receipt
that?
at a restaurant without glasses, but I can see things far away,
Talk
yes.
about the elephant in the room, which is the reading, right?
Right.
Yeah.
What do you do for that
But
nowadays?
I'm popping the cheaters on now
Yeah,
too.
sir.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
when I need to.
And I jokingly say, for us over the age of about 45, 50, we have support group on Thursday nights. We share cheaters, drink wine, talk
Yep,
about
there you go.
floaters, talking about cataracts. But there are a lot, too, if you want to talk about this, Mike, a lot of advances in contact lenses for people over the age of 45.
Yeah.
Touch
Ah,
on that, yeah.
well, tell me more.
Yeah. So daily contact lenses, which I think you're already in, the daily disposable contact lenses, think of your contact lenses like a pair of underwear. And I know it's a gross analogy, but do you want to wear the same pair for a month and clean it every night, or put a fresh pair in every day?
Yeah, you can do it, but not fun.
Right, and
Yeah.
it's so efficient to throw a lens away at the end of the night. You save $150 on solution, better, safer, healthy lens for your eye. So in terms of the whole old eyes, yes, you can put cheaters on, but now we have bifocal contact lenses where you can see up distance and up close. Myself, I do one eye distance, and then I have a bifocal in the other eye, so I don't have to put on cheaters. And I can do those one day. I have my cheaters around the house. I wear my progressives today. So you have more options with contact lenses than you think. And the dailies, because they are tear-filled contact lenses, think of your lenses like a sponge. It is a tear-filled sponge now, so they're way more comfortable than they've ever been.
No political jokes on the tears. Come on.
Right? Yeah.
So if you have two
Packer tears,
lenses
they're
that are
Packer
doing
fans.
two different things,
Yeah.
does your brain just adapt?
Great question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is something called monovision where you do one eye distance and
Yeah.
one eye up close. That's a little bit more discombobulating. That depth
Okay.
perception can be affected. But that bifocal, it's called modified monovision. Both eyes distance, one eye up close. Patients don't have near the symptoms or the issues adjusting to that. Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah.
Brain's a powerful thing.
It is. It is. You can teach old dogs new tricks.
Reminds me I need to schedule an eye exam.
There you
go. March, of course, being the home of National Women's Day.
Yes.
You're a woman business owner. What's your advice for maybe a woman out there who's watching the podcast, listening to the podcast, who maybe has this passion project or things like that, and might want to start a business, or a young woman coming out of school and wanting to maybe go out on their own instead of, joining a firm or, something like that?
Absolutely. 100% support any women going into a private practice, their own business. Take the chance. Make sure you've got a good business plan. Make sure you surround yourself with good people to support you. And I depended heavily on the experts in the field. What kind of frame should I have? What business plan should I have? My bankers have been supportive of me. And of course, your family. My husband, biggest cheerleader on the planet, making sure that I kept my sanity as we were eking things out at the beginning, but then being a cheerleader, all along.
That's great.
And find a community like St. Michael or Rogers, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it really helps to have
Right.
somebody who wants to.
And I hear that all the time. I have students from the Illinois College of Optometry that rotate through our office, and they've been through all kinds of different clinics, and they come to our office and they're like, oh my God, you guys have the nicest patients. And I said, part of it is because as my platform for being an eye doctor, patients will tell if you are a transaction or a relationship. And there's a huge difference there. Are you a set of eyeballs, or is there a patient attached to the set of eyeballs?
Right.
Are you a paycheck or are you a patient? We're here to get to know our people, and the biggest joy that I get is knowing families for generations, and then neighbors, friends. We had a couple that just drove down from Bemidji this morning to see me that I've known for 20 years because we're going to come and see our daughter, and we'll have our eyes checked because we know you, we love you, and we have that relationship, and you know our eyes. Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yep.
Yeah, and they don't teach you that in school,
They don't.
right? I mean,
They don't.
they can teach you the ins and outs of what you're doing, but that relationship building is so important. I think you see that in your field too.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
think we always tell folks that our value add is you can walk into my office and talk to me if something isn't right. It's not an 800 number. You just walk right in, sit down at the table, we've solved it.
I walk into Nick's office and end up talking soccer for an hour. So.
Yeah. He comes in on Fridays because we have free popcorn. Yeah, cookies now too.
Friday?
Yeah.
What kind?
So we use, what is it? It's the red popcorn popper that you see
Yeah.
kind of in the old movies. And we get it from Dahlheimer Distributing. And I don't know what name it is.
Okay, I love popcorn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. You should swing
What
by.
time Friday? Yeah.
We got cookies now too on Fridays.
There you go.
That's a Deerwood deal.
That's a deal. Love it.
All right. Anything we haven't hit on that you want to hit on?
Can I just talk about two big things that are new to eye care in the last year or two?
Please.
Yes. One, I think, speaking to parents out there of kids, we now have something called myopia control. And for people who are severely nearsighted, like you and I were before LASIK,
Yeah.
now, if your children, which have a 20 to 40% chance of taking after you, we have drops and contact lenses that can slow the progression of nearsightedness so that your kids aren't the same level of nearsightedness as you were.
That's
Opens up
super
more
cool.
options for contact lenses, glasses, and again, future
Yeah.
LASIK. And then dry eye for, again, old eye doctor. We have great technology now that helps restore components of your tears instead of throwing drops on things, kind of like spitting on the fire. We now have more advanced pulsed light treatment that allows us to get to the root cause of dry eye, and patients don't have to use their drops as much, have more comfortable eyes, less redness. So dry eye, lots of dry advancements, and again, this myopia control for young kids. If they're getting to nearsightedness early, we can slow that down.
I would think that's huge because
is.
that's gotta be the majority of people.
It is a lot of people, especially
Yeah.
when you look at how we use our eyes.
Yep.
This. There's two components to nearsightedness. There's genetics and then environment. And when you look at the amount of time we're spending on screens, phones, computers, then your body then develops and adapts environmentally to how you're using your eyes, which is nearsightedness.
Yeah.
So Ohio State came out with a prediction that myopia would be an endemic in the next 10 years because this is all we're doing. Yeah.
Do you use blue light blocking glasses or no?
Great question. I think it was my opinion. My opinion on it is that it was a bit of a fad during COVID because everybody's at home.
On a screen.
So it does help with, I think, eye strain for some people. It's more, though, Nick, for sleeping at night. So the melatonin levels stay high when you don't have a blue light filter.
Gotcha.
So if you're on a blue light filter, the melatonin levels stay low. You're able to fall asleep a little faster. But it's good for people who read on a device or like to be on a phone or screen before they go to bed. Yeah.
No social media for an hour before bed, kids.
Exactly. Actually, two. Let's go two. They did not pay me to say that.
I tell you what, the one thing that's made a world of a difference for me is dark mode. Just being able to put your phone into dark mode.
Yes.
Yes.
The strain on my eyes, I've noticed
So much
that
better.
100%.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
So.
Good.
All right, man. It was
That's it.
so good to see you.
Nice to
Yeah.
see you too.
Yeah,
Thank you for the
thanks so much.
opportunity.
And-
That was
it was
awesome to
super
be here.
fun.
Thank you.
Keep
Nick.
it
Yeah,
up.
good to
We
see
will
you.
catch up with you again.
That sounds good.
All
Yeah.
right.
That eye exam
Yeah, it's
soon.
almost May, so you'll see me and my son here in a little bit.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I'm like, I know I've got to get in, which means the kids probably got to get in.
Me
and
too. Yeah,
so,
it's so fun to watch your kids grow. That's one of my favorite things.
I'm sure it boggles your mind because you don't see them every day, but I see them every day, and I'm just like, who are you people?
I just got to see Cam playing soccer over in St. Paul. Our sons played against each other a
Oh.
year or two ago. Yeah, that's fun.
Okay.
I'm like, I know you.
Funny.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
You bet.
Good to have you.
All right.
All right.
All right, we're gonna dive into one of our sponsors here, and we're gonna kick it off with Stellus Health. We're gonna stay in the healthcare world here. You know, you're not just a patient at Stellus Health; you're a person, and we just talked about that with Dr. Colby, how it's important to build those relationships. And you're not just a person at Stellus Health; you're a neighbor. Stellus Health is in your greater community with locations in Monticello and Buffalo. A trusted healthcare partner for all your health and wellness needs. From primary to specialty physicians, from common illnesses, medical conditions, and preventative care, we believe an ongoing relationship is an essential to keep you in good health, and that's why Stellus Health is here. There when you need us, where you need us. Again, clinics in Buffalo right by the hospital, Monticello also right by the hospital with same-day appointments, urgent care, so much more. Great doctors, people you know from your community. Find out more at stellushealth.com. That's stellushealth.com. Neighbors caring for neighbors. Dude, it is so fun to catch up with people from around the community with this platform. It's
one of the best, yeah.
so cool. And yeah, Leah is just salt of the earth people. And I got a funny story. Speaking of running into people and using this platform and stuff like that. So last week, in case you missed it, we were with St. Michael City Administrator Steve Bott, who just kind of walked us through some of the things going on around. And, you know, not much. Pretty slow.
Yeah, jeez.
Pretty slow around here.
Busy folks over there at the St. Michael Town Hall.
They are cooking. Anyway, I'm like, you know, I haven't been to Jersey Mike's since like it opened.
Yeah.
And a sub sounds great. So I pop over there. Who do I run into? Albertville City Administrator Adam Naft.
Oh,
So he will be on the show at a future date.
excellent.
We talked a little bit about the podcast and some of the things. And I tell you what, as busy as St. Michael is, Albertville's seeing it too. And really, like we talked about last week, just the impetus we could have done a whole podcast on 94.
Oh, for sure.
And just all of the things, you know, that have just opened up with that traffic flow improvement that really started with the widening of 494, you know, from Plymouth on up.
Yes.
And then we went through the pain of, and I'm sure you felt this with soccer and things like that, the repairs and widening down the Maple Grove way.
Yeah.
And then to get it out here with the community roads improvement projects and things like that.
Yeah, the bypass lane was kind of scary because it was basically a single lane. And if a car broke down,
Yeah.
which did happen to me, I was stuck there for, I don't know, an hour until they were able to get a tow truck.
Oh, you were in the chute?
Yes, we were in the chute.
Oh, no.
Car has an issue, stuck,
Oh,
not going anywhere.
that's a nightmare.
Yeah, I unfortunately didn't have a helicopter I could call. I just sat there.
Oh, man. You got the pile up behind you, and you're like,
Yeah,
sorry,
what are you gonna
I got nothing, man. Anyway, so yeah, just it was cool to run into Adam, and yeah, we just briefly chatted about some of the things, but just tremendous growth, and now that the snow's up, I mean, we're gonna maybe see a little white stuff this weekend, but we're kind of in that time of year where I feel safe, where we can talk about, hey, if it snows, it's not going to be here forever,
Right.
as opposed to a couple weeks ago.
You know,
when-
whenever I see Adam, I ask him when the Mall of Entertainment is coming.
Oh, that's a throwback for those
Yes.
of you new to the program, new to the website. So a few years ago, and I'll preface this by saying the Darkenwalds are friends, and Ashley will be on the program one of these days. But her husband and the family, Darkenwald had a big development. If it's Otsego, Darkenwald probably developed it.
Yes,
is what
I was
like
going to say that's a good bet.
Had an agreement with a couple of outside investors to build what they dubbed Mall of Entertainment, and it was going to be an extension of the Albertville Outlet Mall, Albertville Premium Outlets. With, I believe there was a water slide attraction, hotel.
I think Sony may have been involved.
I want to say Sony was one of the one of the names thrown about. Obviously, things didn't come to fruition for one reason or another, whether it was timing. I think probably a little bit of the timing for expansion of the freeway, because we're still, working on the gap here. And then with some of the investment things that happened, whether it was, 2012, 2013.
Yeah, I was going to say the economy was just smoking hot at the time.
Yeah, it was a surprising announcement when it happened. I think everybody was, a little bit trepidatious and was like, hey, this is going to be really cool if it happens. But, we're seeing hotels and motels kind of down by the Mall of America see some troubles and changeover, including water parks. So it was just one of those things where it was like, all right, let's hang on and we'll believe it if we see it. And just never came to fruition. But, with that not happening, the industrial growth that's happened over there, particularly with the, road kind of past the Amish furniture store and things happening out there.
Yeah, pretty
Great
big box
growth.
over there.
What's that?
It's a pretty big box over there.
Yeah.
It was built.
Yeah. So the modular apartments, I'm gapping on the name of the...
Rise?
Yeah.
Yep.
So who, came to the area, built a complex right across the street from Cub Foods that if you've never seen that apartment complex or been inside it, it's literally unit by unit built.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It basically came in on flatbeds, and it was almost like watching Legos get assembled.
Yeah, it's Jenga.
Yeah, it was
essentially. Neat. It's like, it's the Jenga apartment complex. They're now doing one in Otsego that is Darkenwald developed. Building many, many more, obviously, because if you drive on 94 and you look to your right there's all those white shrink-wrapped, almost like trailer-looking things, and those are it.
Those are them.
And without that entertainment complex being sidetracked, I highly doubt you get that out.
Oh, no.
So it's just kind of how one thing begets another. Yeah. And, Albertville, obviously, I think they just got their newsletter, and they maybe had a dozen home starts last year. So definitely not the residential explosion that we've seen with St. Michael or Otsego, but the commercial growth that you're seeing with a a community that's locked, essentially. You've got
that's true.
Otsego wrapped around it, and then St. Michael on the other side. You're seeing that grow, and that's only going to help our tax dollars
Correct.
and things like that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it'll be fun to catch up with Adam on that. What else we got?
Sports. Some sad news on the basketball court.
Boy, oh boy. Well, we hope for good news. We'll start with tonight. We'll start with the good news.
There you go.
We got the boys in the section championship tonight. First time for them being there in a little while. They'll take on Moorhead. I believe that's up in the Sartell area. And I threw the question out there because I don't recall the answer to this the last time the boys made state. I believe Tim Anfinson was still the coach.
Yeah, I don't know that I recall ever.
Yeah, we've made a few trips,
Yeah.
but usually kind of run into
Maybe
that.
it predates me in the area.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Just need to pay attention.
Well, the girls we're kind of like UConn in the sense that, well, not anymore because UConn's men are winning national championships left and right, but we have that stretch where Kent and the girls are just
So dominant, yeah.
in Minneapolis every March.
Yeah.
But we've had a couple boys teams make it down. It'd be super cool if they could make it down this year with the girls. And this is the sad news Nick was referring to. Came up short in the section championship to Brainerd. Close game early. Brainerd kind of used a big run toward the end of the first half, and then second half. If Coach Hamry's recap is correct, and I believe it's Coach who does those. If it's a different coach, tip of the hat to you. They missed 4 shots.
Yeah. They were hot.
You don't win many games when the other team's making everything,
Yes.
and that's making everything.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, one of those shots is at the end of the game, and it's they were St. Michael was down big and probably got a couple of juniors, sophomores into the game just to say, hey, I played in a section championship game, but which was me. That was my
I
career.
agree. I was there.
Hey, I got the floor. But just came out guns blazing.
Yeah.
And
I will
congratulations,
say,
Brainerd.
congratulations to the team. Just saw today 3.8 cumulative GPA.
Yeah, state
for
gold
the-
award there.
Wow, that's proof positive. Nick and Mike could not have played for that team. We would not have made that 3.8.
I would have been just short.
I would have been much shorter.
I peaked in high school academically. Let's put it that way. It's been downhill ever since.
Yeah.
I tell people that I made, National Honor Society and got academic
Oh, boy.
scholarships, stuff like that. And they're like, you?
Yeah. They asked me, if we pass you, will you promise not to come back?
That was my collegiate career. So, yeah. We're going to get one more sponsor off the board here. We're going to, because it's tax season, and we're going to go to another woman-owned business. So if you missed the beginning of the podcast and you just joined us now for some reason, women-owned businesses, man, they're rocking it in St. Michael. And Leah Colby is one of them over at iWest. Another one of them is Peggy Shum, and Peggy is rocking tax season right now. But when isn't it tax season if you're a small business owner like some of us here? We are lucky to have hundreds of small business owners here on our NWCT website and, Shop St. Michael, Albertville, and things like that. Just the teamwork that we see. And one of the linchpins who's been there for a long time is Peggy Shum. She is a public accountant. She is there for you, prepping 2024 taxes now. Get it done by someone who's local, who's involved, a lifelong STMA resident, and knows how to get it done and knows how you want to get it done. You want to do it in person, she can do that. You want to drop it off, leave it, and not think about it for a couple weeks. Peggy and her team can do that for you too. For more, visit
You can do
what? I don't know why
You can
her
do it.
website messes me up so bad. CPAPSS.com. That's CPAPSS.com. Peggy Shum, call her up at 763-497-7817 and get those taxes done.
Yeah, I got to see Peggy this week. Picked up mine.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're ahead of me.
Well, it was just personal taxes.
You know,
I didn't have a business to file.
At some point, I'm going to be doing that read, and I'm going to be like, yeah, I got them in, but it's not today. Deerwood Bank, what's shaking down the road?
Yeah, we had a good time. We had a good time this past week. As I mentioned last week, I was down at the state competition for Business Professionals of America, state leadership conference there. It was super fun to. My daughter said, "You can judge, but don't be judgy." So I took that to heart. We had 20 teams that were given a prompt, essentially a business case. And in this business, there were a few things that needed to be adjusted, some big, some small. And then they had prepared presentations that we then judged on how well did they hit on a grading rubric with their presentations. It was fantastic. There was 20 teams, and I bet you we had 15 different solutions. It was really neat to see the different ways.
Super cool.
Yeah, that they approached the problem. There was one group of boys that they were definitely prepped for Shark Tank. They came in, black suits, iPads. This is how we're gonna fix this business. Yeah, it was great. It was a ton of fun, and really had a great time. Then earlier this week, we've been able to work with a couple of our customers on a new promotion. If they are a residential real estate customer but don't have deposits with us, there is a special promo for them to receive some money if they do open up an account. So that was a lot of fun too.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're kind of getting into lending season, I would think.
Yeah. So usually what we see, and I work more on the commercial side, is January, February, you start to see people say, okay, we got year end done, and then we're going to start working on prepping taxes. So January and February, we don't see a ton of commercial business as far as lending requests go. Now, all of a sudden in March, I've been saying this forever, when the weather starts to warm up, so do the lending requests. It just happens.
Right.
And I think we do deal with a lot of businesses that are seasonal, a lot of trades businesses in St. Michael and Albertville. So I do think that probably, once the weather warms up, those folks start gearing up too. So, yeah.
From an economic standpoint, things are a little rough. But how are you feeling for our community, with the resources that are out there?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we have going for us that kind of insulates us a little bit is, generally folks are pretty conservative in the area. And so these economic swings that we might see aren't necessarily going to affect them wildly. I think the thing broader is going to be the Fed. Everybody wants to know where rates are going.
Right.
Yeah. And the Fed has tools to either cool inflation or heat up the economy by lowering rates, or cool inflation by raising rates. The issue we have now is employment is still relatively strong, so you probably wouldn't see a rate cut there. But prices might go up because, and this is not a political statement, it's just math, tariffs would increase the price of certain goods. And so, the Fed can't really raise rates to cool an economy that isn't hot, just things got more expensive. And so we'll have to see how the year plays out. But I think in this area, we do feel a little more insulated because of folks tend to not live as close to the cuff as some others.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk conservative, you're talking fiscally conservative,
Correct.
not necessarily, just to clear that up. So, yeah, well, cool. I mean, that's good news for our community. It's interesting because when I talk to you, I talk to our city leaders, things like that. When I'm wearing my NWCT hat, it is interesting how the big swings here. We feel it when we go to Target, or we feel it when we go to Cub, or we feel it when we go to our local mechanic or things like that, because things just, let's face it, product costs more. However, the big swings, we, like you say, we don't feel that as much.
Right. Yeah, and by the way, all of that I just said, that's Nick's opinion. Don't come at my employer if I was wrong.
financial opinions expressed on the show are not.
Yes, small print.
We need
right
some
there.
sort of disclaimer there. Legalese. Well, speaking of legal, we'll have Jeff on next week. We've got
Yeah.
Jeff O'Brien joining us next week. Another interesting topic, which I'm super excited for, which will be cannabis in Minnesota, which we're hearing more and more about. Little by little, the plan kind of is happening. And what I found interesting this week is it appears the city of Elk River, which is our neighbor to the north, is going to take a muni approach to their cannabis dispensary, which they can do.
Yep.
Reason being, the whole idea behind a municipal liquor store was a little bit of tax relief for your community, and various communities have it. Probably the most prolific is Edina.
I think that's probably true. Yeah.
Edina has 2 municipal liquor stores, raises literally hundreds of thousands of dollars for their young youth athletic endeavors, to uniforms, parks, improvements, fields, things like that. Really saves people in that community. Elk River does somewhat similar investment. A lot of the improvements that you'll see at some of the parks around there were funded by the 2 municipal liquor stores. This will be another avenue for that, with the dispensary being owned by the city.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be really interesting to talk to Jeff, because I could tell you as a bank, the information that we got on how to be compliant with cannabis banking was muddy at best. And so there were all different approaches. Some banks jumped in both feet, and then other banks were saying, we're going to wait for people to make mistakes, and then we'll figure out what the playbook actually looks like. My bank was one of those where, I think because we are regulated federally, and marijuana, cannabis is still illegal federally, it was just a very cloudy situation.
Yeah,
for a lot of
very,
banks.
very unique balance there. And obviously or not, probably don't see that changing at the federal level anytime soon. Whether it be the current administration or even Congress, moving forward with any sort of federal legalization. So they've pretty much said at that level they want to leave it to the states, and so that's the route we're taking. And Minnesota has joined the party. Jeff is, for those of you that don't know Jeff O'Brien, Jeff is the leading guy, was the leading guy on a lot of the craft brewery laws. Over the last 20 years, his job has been just navigating some of these craft brewery things, the spirit, distilleries, which have been, we have some really, really good ones here in the Twin Cities. One of my favorites is O'Shaughnessy, which gives us Keeper's Heart.
Oh, okay.
And obviously St. Patrick's Day coming up. Nice transition right there.
Yeah,
huh?
that was quality.
That's how
That's
I do
quality
that.
segue.
Just follow me. I can get you there. But St. Patrick's Day, big one for you. Not a big one in the Schultz house. I mean, Schultz probably not.
Yeah, I was going to say, although on my father's side, we did have some Scottish and Irish influence there.
Same. Yep.
Yeah. I think, though I like to say everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day.
On March 17th, everybody is at a little bit Irish. So
yeah, generally speaking, we celebrate through cooking. I think I made a Guinness beef stew last year. My son does like corned beef, not so much the cabbage. But he likes the corned beef. So, yeah, that's generally how we celebrate.
I like the idea of the beef stew. I may have to get that recipe for you.
Well, I will tell you, it only requires 1 Guinness in the stew. And so you have to figure out what to do with the other 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Such a problem. Such a problem to have. I tell you what, this is if you get out on St. Patrick's Day, which I believe is it's
a Monday this year.
Year. So, maybe take a day or 2 off or whatever. Well, it's spring break.
Yeah.
For my friends in Rogers and Elk River.
Yes.
So there you go. For those of you here, you're coming back. So maybe you need a day or something to apply aloe to the sunburn and have a green beer.
Yeah. By the way, the social media posts, knock it off. I've seen so many palm trees.
I was gonna
and
get that. I
beaches.
was gonna get to that later.
Yeah.
But
Oh my gosh.
let's finish up on St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
I tell you what, great place to go. We have several in town. Hen and the Hog, just
Yep.
fantastic food there. Also Main Street Farmer and
Yep.
across the way at BK.
Homegrown and
Homegrown. All
St.
of them
Michael.
are going to have, from what I've seen, going to have some Irish specials. Well, pardon me, Main Street Farmer will be closed because it isn't
And
Monday.
it'll be a Monday.
But Homegrown, I believe, will have some. And check out some of the good food because, yeah, Irish food is good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's good. And if you're so inclined, I cannot endorse O'Shaughnessy Keeper's Heart.
Okay. I have
down
not
there.
had the experience.
It's fantastic. It is down in the Dinkytown kind of Malcolm Yards area.
Okay. Yep.
Near you basically have Malcolm Yards, O'Shaughnessy, and Surly kind of all in that
Okay.
area. It would be just to the east of Huntington Bank Stadium
Yeah.
down there.
Yep.
Fantastic experience. The cocktails are great. It will be a madhouse, but
Oh, I'm
if
sure.
you want to experience an Irish whiskey, this will put Jameson to shame.
Oh wow.
It is a fantastic. If you're a drinker, if you're not a drinker, go for the experience of just a really unique Irish celebration. But could not endorse Keeper's Heart and O'Shaughnessy more. Just a fantastic experience. So if you're so inclined to drive and go downtown and enjoy St. Patrick's Day, if you want to celebrate, couldn't endorse it enough. So,
That sounds good.
but yeah, guys, you're killing me.
I get it.
Like
You're on vacation in a
Matt
fabulous place.
Harrison, I'm calling you out. No. There's so many.
Yeah.
So many of our friends and family are
Very happy for you guys.
enjoying the sand and the sun and the surf and fortunate to do that, and I've been able to experience that. So,
Yeah.
but this year I have a graduate.
Yep.
And so the money kind of needs to go somewhere else.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's killing me a little bit. Yeah, people are like, "Oh, you should live vicariously through it." No, just
It's hard. It's hard. Yeah, we made a similar decision. My daughter Ella may have the opportunity to study in London this fall semester coming up.
oh, fantastic.
And so trying to save some PTO and some dollars to go visit her while she's over there. So I'll find a pub there.
There you go. Exactly. So, if you're on spring break and you're listening to us, thank you. This is a great thing to listen to on the plane. I would
think so.
Tune in, catch up with your local community. We usually kick off with news. We did not today because Dr. Colby was here right away to kick off, but little excitement in town last night.
I heard about this. I did not. I think I was probably asleep given my advanced age.
Yeah.
But
I think even if you weren't advanced age, on a Wednesday night,
Yeah.
it was pretty late.
it was after midnight, was it not?
It was right around midnight.
Okay.
Anyway, high speed chase, which happens from time to time in our Twin Cities community, for some reason, made its way through the western suburbs from St. Paul.
Yeah.
I believe is where the stop originated, and ended in Walgreens parking lot.
Yeah.
And right in the heart of St. Michael here.
Well, and my understanding is that the individual fled from the vehicle and tried to get themselves hidden in someone's shed.
Yeah.
Which
yeah, so,
good reminder to lock your doors and your sheds.
Yeah, those our friends at Hardware Hank or Ace have those little padlocks.
Yep.
You want to make
They'll
sure
take
you've
care of
got
you.
one of those.
Yeah.
But yes, the suspect did leave the scene and was found in a backyard. And, you live in a urban area, and even if you live in a rural area, these things happen from time to time. But the helicopter overhead, and it's cool that we live in a community where law enforcement does such a great job.
Yes.
Minnesota State Patrol and the way they coordinate with, county and local agencies, they were able to do it safely. Nobody was really hurt. The chopper from the State Patrol was overhead for quite a while.
Yeah.
So I did get a few texts last night, like, what the heck is going on? And it's interesting because, as long as the website's been going, people kind of come to me and they're like, hey, are you tapped in? And I'm like, I probably know as much as you know, but here's what I got. But even the kids' friends are now texting them like, hey, ask your dad what's going on.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, a little tip for those that get pulled over. Extremely difficult to outrun the radio and helicopters.
Yeah.
So sit tight.
Yeah, it just with the tools that they have, it's not advised to run. So that happened.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's been a fairly quiet week because evidently 2/3 of you are gone.
Yeah.
So
spring break.
But we hope everybody pops out tonight to the gym up in Sartell and cheers on the Knights. We'll wrap this up and get to a couple more sponsors here. We have not touched on our friend Craig Renz, who is going to join us.
Yes, sir.
In about 2 weeks. And we're super excited to sit down with him to talk about mental health in the area. And North Wright County Today, both the website and the podcast, are sponsored by Solutions Counseling Services in St. Michael. I tell you what, 1 in 3 members of the St. Michael community, St. Michael Albertville community, which is like 10,000 men, women, and kids, have got help with our friends over at Solutions, and we think that's awesome because mental health should be just like physical health. Get those checkups and check-ins. Solutions has more than 24 professionals to serve you, including individual therapists that can help with your depression, your anxiety, trauma, marital issues, jealousy if friends are on spring break, any of those things. They even have player therapists for the kids and hypnotherapy if you're looking to go that way. I think that's a big one for like quitting tough habits like smoking. Hypnotherapy is a great one. So, located right on Main Avenue in St. Michael, Solutions can also offer virtual appointments if that's your thing. Learn more about Craig Renz and his awesome team at getcounseling.org, where you can meet some of the providers, take a tour, set up an initial appointment, and see what's right for you. Also serving Annandale, Maple Lake, the great communities out there. That's Solution Counseling, an OG sponsor of North Wright County Today, online at getcounseling.org, or just go to our website and click the ad and go right through to their website. And of course, North Wright County Today, the podcast is recorded live right here at the Selfie Company. Recorded live, but I do edit and put it back on the website, so you can't call in. Sorry. If you do have questions for us, though, you can always hit us up on Facebook.
I was thinking a question and answer show.
Yeah,
would be
we
kinda
absolutely should do that at
That'd
some
be
point. Maybe set up a Twitter handle or something.
No
Anyway.
mean tweets, though. No mean tweets.
No,
I don't want to read
I think
those.
mean tweets are great. I think it's one of the best bits on
I just don't want to
TV.
hear them about me.
Anyway, we are recorded right here at the Selfie Company in Albertville, and I tell you what, you want to know if advertising on a podcast work? Here's the info Chase gave me today. Okay. Chase being Sam, who joins the podcast regularly. We did not even acknowledge poor Sam. I'm sorry,
She
Sam.
had scheduling conflict because she wanted to hang out with her family.
She's a mom.
Good for her.
She's a mom, and she's got kids on spring break, and it's she's getting ready for prom, and they got to go prom dress shopping. So, speaking of prom, Selfie Company will be at prom, and you know what? You guys are so hyped because we told you all about this 360 booth. They're gonna have 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and they are like swamped for prom appointments. So if you wanted to come and get here and shoot before prom, you might want to call now
Yeah, get in
because it
touch.
sounds like things are getting booked up. But I tell you what, let me tell you what's not booked up. If you want to do something really cool for your senior pictures, or if you got family pictures you want to do, and you don't want to depend on the weather, or you don't want to wait for the leaves to bloom, or you don't want to wait for, you got allergies and you don't want to be out in a sunflower field or something. They've got all these super cool sets here. And Sam is ready to book, and we'll throw you in some of the coolest sets, including Friends, if you're a super big fan of the show. Otherwise, they've got some 80s, some 90s stuff. They've got stuff by local artists. They have sweet and romantic backgrounds if you need that sort of thing. But Selfie Company is where it's at, and that's where we're at today. So hit up Sam. Check out the Selfie Company online. They've got a sweet Facebook site. Contact information is there. Get booked with Sam and get something on with her to capture those memories. All right, man. I think that wraps up another show.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you weren't on some beach somewhere. That would have made it so much harder to do the show.
That makes one of us.
No. Maybe next year we'll do a remote location recording. We'll
that'd be fun.
Set up a studio on a beach in Ixtapa or something.
Yeah, if nothing else, maybe from a golf course.
Yeah, we could do that too. We could pay ode to the common man on KFN and just do a swing by swing recap. Join us.
People would love to listen.
Join us for a special 5-hour podcast. Nick's lost his ball to the right of the green.
Yep, you'll hear that a lot. A lot.
All right, man. Well, good to see you. Good
too.
to see you, Dr. Colby. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and have a great week. And we will see you next week with our legalese.